to watch for the moves. They're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making ORCA fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. Orcas all say, don't come for me. Mid-third boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk ORCA game. ORCA King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Danny and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the ORCA Pod, the Apex Predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. For those of you that are new, man, I hate this logo shit. I might fix this in a minute. For those that are new to the ORCA Pod, I am CK. I am the ORCA Prime. I know some of you were here for the cast draft and assessment last week, and you were wondering, what is an ORCA? What are these idiots raving about with their orcaness on this podcast? And I'm here to give you the lowdown before we get into covering episode 1 of Sydney Survivor. The ORCA Pod has done, I would say, over 150 episodes reviewing Australian Survivor LRGs. And while we like to talk about strategy and we like to talk about social game, what we love to talk about the most is the player that is the most ORCA. And what is an ORCA, I hear you asking? An ORCA presents themselves in 3 specific ways. They have traits that are unique to them and to ORCAs. These 3 traits are propensity for narcissism. You've got to love yourself. Being loud and proud about everything. Your strategy, the way, what you want to do, what you're going to do. This is mostly a confessional thing, mainly about how awesome you are. And thirdly, strong arming tactics. ORCAs aren't subtle gameplay, maneuvering the numbers, getting a little strategy here, getting a little maneuver there, fixing the number. None of that shit. It's hard, and you tell people the way they're going to vote, and they do it because you're an ORCA. So we will determine who is the ORCA for this season, at the end of the season, the Congress of the ORCAs, who you will have seen at the beginning of our intro package. Why am I wearing the orange? I always will wear, thank you for that, Isabel. I'll talk about it in a moment. The intro package has the list of all the ORCAs. And for those that have only watched maybe the Sydney franchise, the ORCA of season 1 Sydney was Ethan Bromolo, and I think that tells you everything I just told you in 3 minutes about what an ORCA is. It's Ethan Bromolo. He epitomized the ORCA-ness, and there'll be an ORCA of this season. I know many of the cast are keen. I will usually wear the buff, if I have it, and I have most buffs, of the person that was booted the week of our coverage. So sad to see Nat go. Here I am in the extroverts buff. I will, as uncanny as it would be for me, I will wear the introverts buff on a week that they voted out. So we're going to have 3 former ORCAs coming on the show to this evening to talk about this episode and this brand new entry into this franchise. Let me bring in first the ORCA of Canberra Survivor 3. Sadly, there's not as many female ORCAs as there is male, which is a bit disappointing. But, you know, the female ones all have to really overcome a lot of douchey men to get there, so they're particularly exceptional. And this one is particularly exceptional among those that are exceptional themselves. Let me bring in Loz. I've stuffed it up. Let's try again. Let me bring in Loz.
Yay! That was really nice. That was a lovely intro. Thank you.
I'm always very nice to the ORCAs. Everyone else can get stuffed. And let me bring in the ORCA of Backyard 4, Does he need an introduction? Nah, he can just come in. Welcome, Josh.
Hello, how's it going? Good to be back.
Joshie.
You missed. You weren't available for the draft last week. Were there any surprises in the draft for you?
I actually didn't watch it.
I'm just going to remove you from the show, and we'll just continue on without him. No, he's back. All right.
I'm sorry.
And finally, this man needs no introduction. If you've watched Backyard 5, if you haven't watched Backyard 5, go and watch it, because what this man did was incredible. He had the strategy, but he was so ORCA about it that it was the top notch. He is the bounty hunter. And if you don't know why he's the bounty hunter, go and watch that season, as I keep saying. The bounty hunter himself. Let's welcome Marc. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this episode of extroverts versus introverts. As Aubrey said on Survivor 50 this week, quoting the infamous War Dog, the theme is not on trial. But I think on this podcast, we do often put the theme on trial. Has extroverts versus introverts, based on a one episode sample, delivered what we expected of one great tribe and one boring tribe? Or is there more potential in the introverts? Let's go to you, Loz.
I think we got exactly what we would have anticipated in the first episode. I think the introverts kept their shit together and the extroverts did not keep their shit together as effectively, which I think is what we expected. And the chaos was real in extroverts, and I think they contributed to the demise in the challenge. I think across the board, I think the extroverts are playing for themselves, the introverts are playing for their tribe at this moment.
Yeah.
Josh, did any particular characters stand out for you? You weren't here for the draft. You didn't even see our draft. Apparently, you're so ORCA you can't be bothered watching if you're not on this episode. I'm sure you watch your own back at length and on repeat. But
all the time.
Who excited you that you got to see? Without us getting into the nitty-gritty of the strategy and everything, first blush, who excited you?
On the introverts or just overall?
Overall.
Okay, the people that stood out to me, I think Mac, he seems like just the stereotype of like, oh, this guy's going to be good at Survivor. He's social, you know, he's good to look at. He looks like he'll be physical. Like, he just seemed like a good pick across the board. But then he was a little bit messy. So he did bring a bit of drama and spice it up. He stood out to me. And then I think on the introverts tribe, someone I think potential winner pick or like definitely will go far was Tilly. Yeah, I think Tilly seemed quite a good player and also has that just natural good about Survivor energy. Yeah.
Mac, I said I wanted to be you. Am I going to get any compliments for like how I said nice things about you too?
I think you said that last week, didn't he? He's loving the love. I'm actually wearing a flannel. It's not a red flannel, but I got a flannel on tonight in testimony to the great Mac himself. Marc, coming to you last but not least, have you got any standout moments from the episode? We cannot hear you, Marc, and that's a sad situation. You're not even muted. Try now. No, we're getting no audio from Marc. Marc, why don't you go and sort out? I'm going to remove you. You go sort out your audio, and we'll get talking about what happened in this fantastic episode. We've gone back. I know this is not how we necessarily did Uncharted Waters, but since we started camera coverage, I think we give the people what they want, and we should talk about the boot first and then cycle back to the rest, because everyone wants to talk about the boot and the strategy that went into the boot. Marc, are you with us? Hello, Marc. Anything stood out for you? Yes.
Yeah, what stood out for me was, did Eli self-title the episode?
Yes.
Okay, so I was going to say
this.
this.
Is this law? Or is it just...
I have titles for the episode, so Loz's section will continue.
Yeah, I was going to revert to this in Loz's segment, and I've spoken to Eli about this. I like his little attempt at a bit of a JLP quip at the end of the episode. It was clearly pre-written, which is perfectly fine, but I like it for a bit of zest. But it absolutely should not be the episode title. Episode titles belong to players who come up with whippy one-liners in the real time on the show.
My first note was $99 says this episode title goes to Mac. And then when Eli threw it out of tribal council, I spilled my drink. Like, that is
It was
illegal.
a face palm. I did a face
It's
palm. I just
illegal.
thought, no.
And we're consistent on this podcast. This is not the first time this has occurred. In the merge episode of Backyard 3, Shell likes her rice is a quote from Brian. So this is not the first time the hosts have self-claimed the title, but I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now.
Illegal.
Did you Backyard Boys know that this has been done before by Brian?
No. All I know is they have terrible taste in picking episode titles because I never got one and I gave iconic quotes. So
Same.
You didn't get any, Marc?
No,
I got one.
I have
I have one.
title.
You don't have one. Do you have one, Loz?
Well, no, yes, but it was never credited to me, but I said it. And it was the emotional
What does the wiki
support
say?
croissant. So,
because you said it first, and then Pauline
I
started using it all the time.
1000% said in a confessional about I might have used the F word as well, but about the emotional support croissant. And I never got credit. That confessional never appeared, and then the episode title. But anyway, I'm sure that was me.
Emotional support croissant was a fantastic line that was used by Pauline throughout the season. This is a bit of a mergatory scandal. You guys know the mergatory scandal, how Xander's credited with the name, but it was actually I think the older lady on his tribe. Tiffany, yeah. And Xander says it in confessional, so he gets it. Anyway, I have one episode title. It was I Would Vote for Me.
We'll wait for my section. This is my section, and you just hold them until we do my section.
Yeah, I'm just telling you my episode title.
Yeah, and we can talk about them then. But this is my little section.
Sure.
Everything he said about loving ORCA women is just performative because he's like stepping in your space right now.
I know. I've just got to.
I'm not talking about this segment. I'm talking about the episode title that I got in Playing with Fire. God damn it. All right. Anyway, let's get on with the boot. Devastating events. Now, I want to go to Josh for this because Josh is responsible, among others, for the first ever Francescaing that has occurred in Australian LRGs. Josh is famous for voting out a first boot on a first boot returnee season. Goodbye, Holly. You get voted out twice first. Now, they don't know that Nat's played before and was the effective first boot. But how do you feel, Josh, seeing Nat go out a second time as the first boot? She might come back, but first boot is to go.
I was so mad because, as ORCA's Nat, it gives massive ORCA energy. And, as like an older woman, the gays and an older woman have a natural affinity and alliance. Like if I ever played with Nat, we'd be like final 3, let's go, girl. And literally she was robbed in Melbourne Survivor. And then, she was too full on. Everything she did wrong there, she literally did a 180. Tried to play more under the radar, didn't speak up. Like she genuinely was playing a really, really good game. I just don't know how it happened again. And it was so upsetting to see her literally crying in her final words. And I was just fuming. I'm like, she did everything she could have and she was robbed again. And I don't know, maybe it's because she was playing the middle and playing a bit more under the radar that she just became sort of a consensus boot because she wasn't a big personality. And on this season of introverts versus extroverts, maybe that was like the perfect storm that just got her targeted again. Yeah, it really annoyed me. I love Nat.
Mark, did you think she was going to do better in this format, being amongst other big characters, big personalities?
She had the potential to. I loved her quote about not being fucked off by anyone. She's a queen. I just think that yeah, like her not speaking up, this was the time to probably speak up a little bit more. I think she needed to be on people like Mac's radar. I think you look at this tribe and you know that Mac is like the gravitational pull, right? So I think she needed to be under his wing if she wanted to get through the first round. So yeah, there was a time to be Nat 33%. This was the time to be Nat 33%.
Wasn't she in Mac's orbit, though? It seemed to me that going into this tribal, it was a 4-4, but the other 4 was a much stronger 4. Did you see that that way, Loz?
Yeah, 100%. So I wasn't exactly sure when it flipped because the power did seem to sit on the Mac, Rissa, Bell side of things. And we get to tribal, and clearly the power had shifted. And I'm not entirely sure why or how it had shifted, but Ian and Dio, KK version 2.0, they were, it was their vote. They were the ones who had called that they wanted Bell or Nat gone right from the beginning, right from the start of the episode.
Why
So I think,
why did they get 2 options?
yeah, it just, maybe it was the edit that kind of gave us the impression that the power was sitting in one side rather than the other. I'm not entirely sure why it got to tribal and that 4 flipped on them. Because to me, if you're 4-4, surely you have enough influence to pull Maddie back across. Or
I think what happened
was a bit of an odd vote, and clearly Nat had shown some of the Nat we know, because that was why she was a target. So I think maybe she didn't balance the strategy enough with the Nat personality. I don't know, but where did that shift?
I think the reality for me, what it looks like is like Deo and Ian were playing so hard and so overtly. They were giving 2 names, and the other 6 went, well, those 2 names aren't me, right? So people were happy to pick on those and let those 2 fall at the bottom rather than speak up early and push their heads out early. Like, I don't necessarily think the 4 in power is Maddie, Deo, Ian, and Shane, but I think that those were those 2 push, because everyone was talking crap about Ian and Deo all day, but then all of a sudden they dropped the bottle.
There was a conversation between Maddie, Deo, Ian, and Shane, where the 4 of them together, and they were said, "This is the 4. This is the 4 that I want to work with." And I agree there was a lot of conversations happening in this tribe, and not many of them were genuine. But that one felt genuine, like through the screen. And Maddie was the one saying it. And honestly, I think Ian and Shane are probably like, this younger girl wants to work with us. We've locked this in. Like, we are set. And she was being genuine about it. She felt genuine. And I think what happened was they went into tribal unresolved. And then there were whispers along the log to the others saying, us 4 are voting for Nat. We're locked in. Come along with it, or I guess it's rocks. And these people are not going to go for rocks.
Well, and I mean, look at the gender breakup of that as well. So you've got 3 or 2. I mean, Ian and Shane, who are clearly quite alpha, and Deo are undecided. But you got the 3 guys and Maddie, who's clearly a really strong female player. And then you've got Mac and a little bit of chaos surrounding him in Bell, in Nat, and in Rissa. And I mean, on paper, absolutely, the Shane, Ian, Deo, Maddie looks so much stronger. Just from from an editing, gameplay perspective, you've got this strong 4, and then all of a sudden you've got this Pillar and Mac and these 3 slightly more chaotic players around him. Maybe that was
I just think that Ian and Deo came in so strong with like, we want this, it will be this outcome. I can't see them holding on to that. I think this was very much a round 1. Well, there are names out there we can hide behind that. Like, I will do a shot live on cam in 2 weeks' time if that 4 is still the power 4.
I think
Yeah.
it will be the Power Four. And we need to get Josh in. I'll get you in a moment. Sorry, Josh. But I think they
No,
will
it's
be the
okay.
Power Four because of one person, and it is not Ian, who's the leader of this group, but it is Shane. I think the reason why this group came together is because everyone likes and trusts Shane. I think Shane is the core of what's holding that together. It's not Ian might think it's Ian, but it's not Ian. Ian's the guy out front that's the target and big and bold and loud. Shane is what brought that group together, and he's what will keep it together. Josh, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just find this alliance so weird. Like, to me, Maddie seems like a very level-headed, like another person, good at Survivor, you know, gives me vibes of like a Sab from Survivor Canberra or something like that. And she's in this alliance with these, like, I mean, Shane's quite normal, but Ian and Deo are like these chaos demons. Ian is out of control. He's like, you know, the crazy drunk uncle at Christmas that you're like, okay, let's, you know, slow down
Sit
on the
at the
drinks
end
there.
of the table.
Yeah, literally. And she's like in with these chaos demons. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe she can control the chaos and it will work for her, but it just seems such an unlikely alliance to me. I just don't get
Agreed.
it. It's very weird.
Agreed.
Very
Agreed.
weird.
I think this is a great alliance for her. If she's playing savvy, these are the kind of guys that will bring her in, think they've just got her as a number, and she just does what they says. And when she's ready to flip on them, they will not see it coming.
They don't last, though. Those kind of players don't last. And all of a sudden she's exposed, her alliance is gone, and she's an extra number that nobody needs. I think it's super risky because I look at Ian and go, Marc's little thing from last time, he's not long for this game, the game longs for him. Like I look at it and go, huge long-term risk. You'd be smarter sitting with but this is where I'm trying to work out, maybe we didn't see it, but was Rissa and Nat and Belle more chaotic than Ian? And we just didn't see it? I don't know.
From Eli that says Rissa wasn't fussed and she didn't want it to be her. And so that was the flip.
And that's kind of how I was surmising this vote. Like, I think that those two just came out really forward, but I just don't see that alliance staying sound and solid long into the game.
Yeah, and also it's annoying me because there's Izzy, then the caption is Belle. Like, it's too confused. Like, I know who she is and I get it, but I feel like if there's viewers, the naming conventions are confusing around Izzy/Belle/Isabel. I don't know. That's
okay,
annoying.
So that's a comment for you, Eli. In future edits, go and change it to Belle would be the preference for Josh. I want to get into Ian's strong arming strategy. I'm not trying to foreshadow who should be the Brommy winner of this week, but the strong arming strategy to attack Nat purely because she didn't get in the water and hold on to the whatever it was, paddleboard, the same way that Chris did for the introverts, like it had any fucking impact on the challenge when none of these Muppets could solve the puzzle, right? Like whatever Nat did or Ian did or anyone that was not on the puzzle was absolutely meaningless to the outcome of the challenge. And for then Ian to say she didn't get in the water or whatever she didn't do because it's just utter nonsense. And the fact that anyone was prepared to go along with this showed the position that either he had or, as may be the case, the fear people of it's just not me. But were you guys also blown away by this attempt to gaslight whatever Nat did in the challenge as a reason to vote her out? Like, she did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And look at Nat. She's got a banging body. She's got probably the best abs there. Like, don't make her a scapegoat. It was annoying.
It was Ian just deflecting from the fact that he is probably going to suck in challenges. And I can't run, but I ran the hardest I've ever ran. Did you? Yes. Okay.
He actually ran really fast, to be fair.
I mean, that's
He
fine.
was
That's
good.
fine. But it's don't. It was a deflection technique to try and take the focus of the fact that he obviously felt like he maybe didn't perform at the level that the rest of them did or whatever it was. It's obnoxious.
Fine.
And he picked on a girl who clearly did her job in the challenge, and I don't like it.
Was it to save Deo? Dayo's also on the puzzle. He's aligned
Yeah,
with Dayo.
maybe.
He doesn't
Yeah,
want
probably.
conversations
Yeah.
about the puzzle.
This
Maybe.
Because then it becomes a
extrovert
bro
type
versus
is a
Dayo.
liability.
It's just
Sorry, Marc?
it's unnecessary, and it's when you've got nothing else to like cling on to, that's what you throw out there.
This extrovert tribe is such a liability in challenges. Like, I'm expecting to see Josh's Leg 2.0 come out this season.
Wasn't that the hilarious comment from Mac about like this is Dad's army? Like, where are the younger guys? Like, I thought I was going to be the old man at 32 or whatever Mac is. I do feel though that Mac has carried that mentality in. I think he's looked at Ian and he's looked at Shane and gone, I don't want to be with these old guys, and it sort of left him out of the numbers. And it feels like they're only keeping Mac around because, you know, he's probably the one really fit guy on their tribe.
Hmm.
And meanwhile, he's
Yeah.
got some like he has some great girls. Maddie's
Yeah.
an ex-professional athlete, and Nat is also an athlete. And it's not always about the boy strength. Sometimes it's about girl strength, Mac. And maybe if you had focused on that, then you know things might have played out slightly differently.
Mac is with the girls though. All three allies were girls.
Yeah, but his first thing was nothing about the girls. Oh, look, we have weak guys. Well, what about all the strong girls you have?
Fair.
I
Very
just
fair.
think it's so hard not to look at Ian and Dayo and be like, what? Sorry, that's so
Mac
rude. But
said he figured it was going to be him and Dayo carrying the tribe. He said that.
Oh.
So come on, like Maddie's a beast. Nat's a beast.
Isabel
Yeah.
says in the comments, it was not Nat until the last 30 seconds of the vote. It was Ian. Well, I'm interested in that because I don't think the four were voting for Ian. So it was Rocks
I don't
up
think so
until
either.
it was
Yeah.
Rocks up until the last 30 seconds of the vote. Max campaigning for ORCA of the commentary by saying his back is still sore.
They have
carrying his
anti-inflammatories for that, Mac, but you might need to talk to your doctor. I don't know. Are we geriatric doctors yet at 34 or whatever you are? The old man in the tribe?
He's the old man. Let's is there anything we want to talk about with the extroverts before we flip over to maybe the introverts and some of the other mechanics of the episode?
I
think
think Sharon?
Yes. Did he find that idol? Did he not find the idol? I was incredibly confused. And I think the edit's to blame here, unless they want us to be a bit surprised next time. I have no idea what Mac has. A clue, the actual idol. Anyone got any ideas?
It was a clue. It was a clue, and it's something to do with it's under a flat log or something somewhere.
I just think that being so public is like, if anything, that's going to centralize the four. I don't even know what to call them. The four, just to like keep them around but dogpiling him at some point. Like, I thought that was messy, chaotic gameplay. But hey, we love a messy queen.
Yeah, what do we call the four? They're a bit like mismatched of alliance, like the Gangrene Gang or something. I don't know.
Gangrene? What?
It's from the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay. Thank you.
Maddie's Misfits.
Yeah, actually.
All right, it's Maddie's Misfits Alliance.
Actually, the only thing I did want to raise, and it could be a conversation for introverts or extroverts, was Shane being super old school and going, I'm just not going to tell my tribe anything about what I did for the last half an hour at the second part of the reward challenge where I got half an idol. And Joe turning around and going, you're going to have to tell them something, buddy. And him going, no, it'll be fine. They're not going to ask. And they didn't.
Well, no, they did. Because he came back immediately, I thought, and said, we just drew a rock. And she went back to her tribe and said they did a challenge. Like, they had inconsistent stories even after they tried to agree upon a story when they went back to their respective tribes. Did I miss that, or is that what everybody else?
No, they did. But I thought her story was way better, and I just can't believe that nobody questioned Shane on what actually happened in that extra half an hour that he was gone.
And she tried to communicate that to Shane, and
She did.
he didn't seem to understand
didn't.
what she
No,
was
no big
suggesting.
deal. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. I'll just tell him nothing.
Mark, you had your hand up?
I just feel like they both got like a hamper to bring back to camp, right? Like both of them did. How
A
hard is
little
it to be
one
like?
and a big one.
Yeah, how hard is it to be like? Oh, we did like a little, like another round of that spinny game, and the winner got the better hamper. Like, and
Well, that's
then
what
this
she
game,
said, right?
That's what Joe did. Yeah.
yeah, this game moves so quickly. You just say that, people move on. By the time the next challenge happens, like they would have, messy, unnecessary.
I want to give Joe some flowers here because again, Shane said, I don't want to tell anyone about this. I want it to be our little secret for if we get to merge. And she said, no, I would like to tell some people about it if they're people that I decide that I trust. And Shane's approach is standard Survivor. Don't tell anyone about anything. But I really like Joe's approach here because it's a non-event. This thing is nothing right now. It's only something at merge, and or it might be at swap. I'm not sure the rules around that, but what it's saying is with your trusted allies, you can bring them in closer by telling them about something you have that's not super threatening right now, and show that there's an avenue to cross-tribal connections through you at the later points in the game. I think Joe's right, and to want to reveal this to close allies, and then she's also not blindsiding close allies about it when she eventually uses it, if it comes off. Shane could get booted the next episode. You know, you don't even know if this thing's going to come off. You're better off using it as a way of building your connections on your starting tribe. And I like that she told Shane that's what she's going to do, not just tell Shane something different and then it gets back to Shane. I think the way she played that was like, there's nothing wrong with Shane's approach, but I think Joe's approach is like a tier above, particularly in the short form game. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, she definitely
We've got her in a minute.
in that little duo, she definitely seemed more switched on to the game. Shane just seemed to be typical, like, you know, not savvy, too much savvy about the game, a bit standoffish, probably thinks, oh, I know best, you know, doesn't want to listen to her opinion, but she definitely had, she was thinking on deeper levels. And I think it sucks that because isn't it like non-transferable and all that stuff? I feel like those two are never going to be able to mesh together. So unfortunately, while it's a good twist, I think that it might end up never getting used because I just can't see them working together because he's just, not very kind of like approachable or kind of thing. Just,
Loz, do you disagree with my view?
No, I agree 100% with Joe. I thought she played it beautifully. I think Shane's approach was dreadful. I just, as somebody who is such a fan of the game that he claims that he is, to think that you're just going to pretend that nothing happened, you're not going to tell anybody, that, you know, and nobody's ever going to question it. To me, that's really short-sighted. And I was surprised that that was his default. I thought Joe played it beautifully, and I think it's a shame, really, that I agree with Josh. I'm not 100% confident anymore that Shane will make it far enough into the game that they'll ever have the chance to use it. I just think we're so far past the point of, we won't tell them anything. You have to tell them something. We all know in these games, nobody goes off to a reward or whatever it is like that and doesn't come back with some sort of advantage. You've got something. Everyone's going to know you've got something. You have to tell them something.
I just think it depends on the people because, like, not everyone is the biggest Survivor fan. And I think the extroverts on this particular camp they're not checking details. They're really focused on, like, the fire in front of them at this time. And I actually can't see this coming to bite Shane right now. It might happen at a swap when things get leaked, but I can't see it having an impact on the starting tribe. So I actually don't think it's going to impact his starting game.
But it should, because they're all massive fans.
It should. I just don't think it will.
Where are their brains right now?
Well, look, all Shane needs to do is tell his little group about it, can lock them in further, and then it's not really going to be a problem. And if he's smart, I would tell the entirety of Maddie's Misfits about this opportunity because it's so non-threatening right now. What's more threatening is the clue Mac has to an idol. We need to be thinking about that, not this semi-possible half idol I have if I happen to make it to merge.
Yeah, I just don't know how he came back to camp and nobody interrogated him. I'm just, how? Why? How did he get away with it? Yes, he's safe on it now. I just think it was a huge risk.
Well, he told a poor story, and he shouldn't have. I agree with that. Let's turn to the introverts. We should give them some attention. Sorry, introverts, we're not ignoring you because you're the introverts. We're ignoring you because you won the challenge, and therefore screen time was not your friend for the first episode. If you're on screen time, lose challenges. So now we are turning to the introverts. Who stood out for you, Josh, as one of the introverts? And I think there's one in particular that we should be talking about who's playing a big, bold game right off the bat.
Yeah, so the ones that stood out for me was Tim. I think seems like quite a strong player. Tilly, who I mentioned earlier, she seems quite a good player and very social, gives me kind of almost like Parvati vibes a little bit, possibly. Like she's good. And then is it the guy Oscar? Who he started off being like seeming like he really didn't care about how he did in the game. And then he was quite bold, was like quite giving some good quips and stuff. I'm like, oh, he was giving a bit of ORCA energy. So he's one to watch. But I think some of these people, like in the Survivor community, I've met way more introverted people. I feel like half of these people are not introverts at all. But I'm glad because if they were actual introverts, it might be boring.
Before we go into Loz, the fun fact is being an extrovert is not about how you present externally, it's how you recharge. I am actually, based on that definition, an introvert because I recharge with myself, my own company, but I have a huge tank that I don't need much to be full. Whereas extroverts actually recharge while being like out and about and parties with people, like with other people is how they recharge. So that's apparently the definition, and everyone's just co-opted it into their own thing. Now, Loz, you were smirking like the Cheshire Cat over there. Oscar was your number one pick from memory, and I think you're very excited about what he's bringing to the game.
Oh, I love him. Oh, my God. His banter is just... He doesn't have a water bottle. Somebody get the boy a water bottle. I love it. I'm thrilled with my first choice.
For someone who doesn't know a lot about the game, I think we're going to get a fantastic. I love when these people come on to these LRGs or even Real Survivor, but I think in Real Survivor they know something, and they don't know a lot about the game, but they're not going to just sit in the back and do nothing. Like he's just going to play in ways you won't expect because he has no frame of reference for what is right and wrong or what's good strategy or bad strategy because he's watched 100 seasons of Survivor. He's just got whatever he feels like. Marc, what do you think about his? I'm going to vote out the people that traveled interstate to be here because they must give a shit, and that's funny.
So
speaking of someone who voted out an 18-year-old kid who traveled all the way from Melbourne to Perth to play, and you voted him out first just so you could get an idol. How do you feel about Oscar's gameplay, Marc?
Look, here's the thing. Like, it's scary. He scares me. He would try and vote me out round one. I don't like it. But I do love it at the same time. I'm worried that he's going to squander the opportunity to actually do something big by just being a little bit rough around the edges, right? Like, it's all good to talk up a big move, but if you can't authentically get people on side to do it, then it might not come to play. So that's what I'm worried about. I think he's got the logic. I just don't know if he has the people sense to pull it off. However, I think someone on that tribe is misplaying too much and over hard, so there might be some wriggle room for it to recur.
Who's that, Marc? Who's overplaying on the
Tyrone?
Tyrone
is playing so hard. It's like, hi, what's your name? Are we in an alliance together? It's too much.
It's too much. And Tilly even highlighted that. She clocked him as someone, he's playing a bit hard. Like, come on.
Josh, mentioned that you like Tim. Do you want to talk about that? What do you like about what Tim's doing?
My number one draft pick.
Oh, sorry, Marc. Go to Marc.
God.
Let Marc
No,
finish his bit.
Just Tim was my number one draft pick.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's good. Yeah, he seems switched on, smart at the game. There was a point where he I think he like sat back in the challenge or so. Oh yeah, I think he said he dropped out of the challenge like earlier than he like could have lasted because he didn't want to put a target on his back. Like that shows he's thinking a few steps ahead. And then he did team up with Tilly. I think they had a few little chats. So I think they could be like a strong core in the introverts tribe.
I love him.
Yeah.
I think what he said, and I took some notes on it because I thought it was really smart. He said he stayed in the reward challenge to make sure that the introverts beat the extroverts, but made sure that he wasn't the last one standing because he figured that whatever came next was going to be related to an advantage or an idol, and he didn't want that target on him. And that's a real like thinking ahead on the spot, not having a lot of time to really plan and making that decision. I thought that was he's got a real handle on the game. And I think Morgan or Tilly, somebody said, oh, he reminds me so much of one of my best friends. And I think he'll be this everyman that everyone feels like they've got a connection to. And just versus someone like Tyrone, who is just out of the gate, so out there in an introvert tribe that people are already clocking you. Tim's got huge potential.
Yeah.
Anyone from the introverts that we haven't talked about? What about Chris? He's the old man on the tribe. Got into the there's a bit ORCA in the challenge, deciding to sabotage challenges. You know, we don't get a lot of people trying to just outgame the challenge and sabotage it. It didn't really matter because of the puzzle situation, but you know, him jumping in the water. I don't know if he was supposed to be on the back of the surf ski, but he jumped in the water and tried to hold the extrovert surf ski back for, I don't know how effective it was. That was probably Chris's claim to fame. How do we feel about Chris? Anyone got any thoughts?
Chris. I struggle to remember who he was.
He's so quirky. I don't have enough information right now to have a solid opinion.
You have a thought? Fair. Say nothing if you can't say something nice. Or something funny. Funny or nice.
Sorry, go on, finish.
No,
mine's not about Chris, that's why.
Who else is in the introverts that we haven't spoken about? Have we spoken about everybody?
I think Jo's fantastic.
Yeah, Jo's good.
Huge props. I'm stoked that she's mine. I think she's differentiated herself from, I thought that Jo, Tilly, Morgan, and Beck would be super interchangeable, but I think Jo's actually set herself apart and clever. I just think she's a lot smarter and a lot more switched on than, obviously we hadn't seen her video, but to have a plan with the half idol, really good.
Yeah,
really
we obviously didn't get a lot of content from Introvert Tribe, but like Tim showed a good mind for the game. Oscar has his game plan, and Jo got her little flowers at the start. But I never watched Sydney 1, so I have a note that I want to talk about. What was up with the Oscar segment after the challenge? Like, I haven't watched Sydney 1, but like, is there just like a random camera takeover every episode where someone does like a live vlog from their time at camp? Because like that's what Oscar's content was giving.
I'm not sure of the professional you're referring to. Everyone else was confused, Marc.
He just had like a solid like 3 minutes of airtime that was just like the Oscar show, just like him walking around camp, like live streaming to the camera.
He was probably the most entertaining. I don't know.
I missed this completely.
All right, because I was living for it. There was just like go do a rewatch. There's like Oscars like live from camp, like just randomly in the post challenge section.
I know what you're saying. It was a little bit like that. He was just standing there talking. He wasn't off doing a confessional.
Yeah, he was just there.
He was just standing there talking. Yeah.
He was on IG Live.
Okay, look, it's not a Sydney thing. I'd have to wager that it was probably some of the most exciting content they had from the introverts in a challenge win scenario. right? We're trying to get content on the introverts. They've won the challenge. There's no strat chat going on because they've got tribal council in 10 minutes. So, and Oscar's bringing it. Oscar's one of these people that is he an introvert? He's pretty out there. He's fun times. Do we think? I think Oscar's got a healthy ego on him. I think he has some ORCA potential. He says he'll do whatever because he doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't care about Survivor. He doesn't care about LRGs. He doesn't care that people have been trying to get cast on this thing for 4 or 5 years to play one of these. He knows that might be the fact, but he doesn't care. He wants to vote those mofos out from traveling from interstate. Like, and I think he doesn't care right now. But do you think that as the game progresses, he will care? Like, I think this guy, you think he doesn't care? If he gets voted out 4th, he doesn't care.
I don't think he cares.
This is what you like so much about him, Loz.
I do. It's so ORCA, and I want to hate it because, as you know, we're fans. Like, I live and breathe this. Playing an LRG was, you know, the pinnacle of my adult life, and he would be the one to take me out, and I want to hate him for it, but as a viewer I can't, and as an ORCA I love it. I don't think he gives a shit. I think he will come on wherever he gets voted out. He'll give us a great exit interview. He'll never lose a moment of sleep over this game or anything that happens in it. He will break people's hearts in this game, and he'll just shrug it off because he doesn't care. And that there's something about it. I'm super here for it.
Yeah. Does anyone have any final? Oh, sorry, you're Marc.
I could just see him like murdering someone and trying to dissolve their body just to see if he can get away with it. Like, that's the kind of energy I get from him.
Love it. On that note, I think we can probably, unless you got something final, Josh.
One little thing, because I didn't like do the cast thing, so I just took this episode at face value. But I saw that one chick, Beck, and I looked at her straight away, and just the face, I was like, oh, she's giving me like quiet English teacher energy. And then later on she's like, yeah, so my kids, I'm a teacher. And I was like, oh my God, you can just see people for what they are.
Thank you for that, Josh, because we hadn't discussed Tara at all, and I'm glad you brought her into the show. Loz, it's time for your tirade, your closing tirade before we get to the final parts of the show. Don't go anywhere. We've got more to come. Loz, what should have been the episode title besides?
All right. Okay. I didn't get a lot. I actually didn't think that our cast gave us much this episode, so but I did narrow it down. I picked up 5 titles that I thought should have been better than something about strip poker. I don't get it, Eli. I'm sorry, it didn't hit for me. So Nat quoted, "I'm a bloody good actress," and I just think that's a cool episode title. Episode 1, I'm a bloody good actress. Don't know who it's referring to, don't know which tribe it's referring to. I think Mac said the next one, and I just loved it as an episode title, The Potato Tribe.
Yeah, I'm down with that one.
Is it the extroverts or the introverts? We don't know. The Potato Tribe.
I like the Potato Tribe.
I like the Potato Tribe. Then it was a combo of 2 quotes. So episode 1, extroverted extroverts and the silent assassins.
That's pretty good. Who said that?
I think Ian said, maybe Ian, that she's a more extroverted extrovert. And then I think Chris said,
they're the silent assassins.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Then I had number 4. Okay. Anyway, I like the Potato Tribe. I thought it was catchy. Just because it was so random, I don't have a water bottle. Episode 1, I don't have a water bottle.
That's not bad. Yeah.
If you played an LRG, you know how crucial the water bottle is. So.
Oh, you really do. So I thought it kind of summed up a little bit of the vibe. And then I had one last one, and I think it was Nat, and I think I gave Nat 2 just because I was so devastated for her. And she said, "I want hearts broken."
Yeah, it's good too. And then she got her heart broken. So it went
like
around.
that's badass kind of LRG ORCA energy. So they were my 5.
I like a lot of those. To do the Nat one, she says it and then it comes around and she's crying at the end of the episode. So she got her heart broken. So it sort of is a fitting thing. For those ever play again on the water bottle, the best thing you should have is the smallest water bottle possible. You don't want a large water bottle. You want to have to go fill up your water bottle like as many times.
It's not
as
a thing anymore though, because we now, as prop coordinators, we provide your water bottles.
Oh, really?
So
You're doing that in
we make
Canberra,
them and provide them, and they're very small. They're
everyone's doing
500 ml or less. And
The
the
small's
idea
good.
is that you're always at the well.
Just do what I did and pour it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
too.
that, Mark.
Totally.
That's iconic.
Yeah. I've done that too. I need water.
Sorry to take over, but is it time for ORCA of the week? Brommy of the
No,
week?
we're going to do TWIOLSH, and then we're going to come back and award the Brommy and tell them what's going to happen next week. So I'm going to be dropping out Loz. I'm going to drop out Josh. I'm going to drop out Marc. I'm going to drop either myself out and give you guys a little. Welcome.
Love it. I love it.
Do you want to? We're going to introduce tonight for TWIOLSH. Now, for those who are not familiar with the podcast, this is a trivia segment where we ask questions about other LRGs. We're going to keep all the other LRGs relevant, so we're talking about them. And obviously, it's everyone's dream to be an answer in an LRG quiz trivia question, and this is the opportunity. We're going to see a lot of, hopefully, Sydney alumni come on to TWIOLSH this season. Also, the Boots, when they come on, they are welcome to take me on. I am pretty good at this. Like, I haven't lost many. I went almost undefeated in Uncharted Waters. Only Jules beat me, and she's the quiz master. And I'm undefeated over in Canberra this season as well. So I'm a hard beat. But, you know,
You've done one Canberra this time. You're undefeated.
It's been ages since I lost, other than to you. But, like, we're bringing on the man, the myth, the legend this week, the host and creator of Sydney Survivor. Let's welcome Eli.
Hello. How are we?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, you can.
How excited are you to finally have Sydney 2 out after a couple of years?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'm pretty sure I've added about 5 or 6 kilos to my stomach since watching this back. There's definitely a lot of body fat extra from that. That's the biggest notice that I've noticed from me there. But no, it's super exciting, and yeah, just seeing like the amount of messages I've got just from like different people, from not just the community, but like friends, family watching as well. Like it just like it made me realize like why I love doing it. It's so much fun. It brings people together, and yeah, it's just like a creative outlet for me. Like I think, yeah, like Survivor is one small aspect of my life, but when it's so focused like this, it becomes a much bigger aspect, and it's really interesting. Yeah, just seeing people's reactions to it and them enjoying it.
I know you've had some reaction to the clean-shaven look you had in the season, and people don't like that. I personally think you should go back to the look you had. There's a video doing the rounds. I should have arranged to have a screen grab of it here. There's a video doing the rounds from All Stars, Australian Survivor All Stars, which has Malcolm from Canberra talking about like All Stars, and it has a young Eli with a man bun. And I think we need to go back to this look.
CK, you got to send me this. I got to see it.
Let's not do it. It's so funny as well, though, because everyone notices the man bun, but then I'm just like looking, I'm like, wow, I'm so small and like skinny. Like,
how old are you in the man bun video?
I think I was 20, 21. I think maybe 20. Yeah. 20, yeah.
We'll get the man bun thing happening. All right, George, do you want to explain the rules of TWIOLSH for all the noobs?
Well, we have tweaked the rules a little bit slightly for Sydney. So the guest every week will have 2 questions from the episode of the week from Sydney season 1, and then there will be 2 extra questions
from the season of the guest choice. So Eli this week has chosen Brisbane season 1 and Backyard season 4. The questions will always come from whatever episode we're covering. So this week they're all episode 1. You will get asked. The guest will get to choose first which category you want. You'll be asked the question outright. If you choose to answer it with no multiple choice options, you will score 2 points. If you want to hear the multiple choice, you will only get 1 point for a correct answer. If you get it wrong, with or without multiple choice, the guest will get to steal. And if they get it right, they will score 1 point, regardless of if they've got multiple choice or not. Eli, I see you're getting headphones. Are you ready to go? Or you just need to plug that in?
Yeah, let me just fix this up.
You plug
please,
that in. I
sorry.
think
He's
we've got a
got a
little
bit
feedback from you.
of feedback, so I've just muted him while he gets that sorted. Now, I used to study hard for these things when we started TWIOLSH. I don't study anymore, so I may lose.
Oh, sorry.
Whatever. I just go for it. The seasons that we have on offer, Jules, for this episode, what do we have?
So there's 2 from Sydney. Now, with the Sydney ones, there is Sydney A and Sydney B. The way they are labeled is just whichever one occurred in the episode first, just for transparency, so you don't think I'm giving someone the hard one or the easy one. So Sydney A, Sydney B, and then we have Brisbane 1 and Backyard 4.
Which
Eli,
were the categories?
where would you like to start?
Eli selected those categories.
He did.
Yeah, I'm gonna suck at this, so I'm gonna start with probably the hardest one for me. So, let's start with Brisbane.
Brisbane, okay. So at the first immunity challenge, who found a hidden immunity idol?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Lily. Let's go, Lily.
That is incorrect. CK, would you like to try and steal?
Yes, I think it was Liam.
You are both wrong. It was Alex.
Kyle. Alex?
Alex.
Yeah.
So
Liam
0-0.
got the fruit after, and he was offered a
He went
clause.
really early though, right? Did he go early? Yeah.
Alex is the third boot.
Yeah.
But
All
there's
right,
only
CK,
10
where are we
people.
on next?
You're almost saying that. I will take. I'll leave. What? I'll leave this. I'll leave Backyard so Eli can phone a friend. I will go Sydney A.
Sydney A. Who said the episode title, Christy effing Bennett?
Everybody was saying this sort of shit. This is
There's
outrageous.
only one person that said that word for word. Christy fucking Bennett.
Look, I think it's shocked Pikachu face himself in that picture.
It is not.
I'll
Eli,
steal
would you
it.
like to steal?
Yeah, I think it's Joseph.
It was Joseph.
Yay.
I'm gonna get destroyed. This is a bad start.
Matt would
Eli.
be my second pick, I reckon.
All right. Would you like the other Sydney question or Backyard 4? Bearing in mind that you can phone a friend and Josh O'Brien is backstage ready to take your call.
Yeah, let's go Backyard. Why not?
Okay. I think he might actually know this one. I forgot he was going to be here as a phone a friend, to be honest, when I wrote this. All right. The immunity challenge ended with a vertical maze. Birak didn't even make it to this part before the challenge was over. Who was going to complete the maze if they made it there?
I'm going to phone Josh straight in there then. Let's go.
Yeah, so this is the iconic first episode challenge where I fractured my knee. So, yeah, disappointingly, my bestie didn't get to complete his part of the challenge, but, you know, because I'm an iconic player, still managed to get a tight alliance of 4 and become besties. It was my King Michael.
Eli, is that the answer you're going to take?
Yeah, let's do it. Lock it in.
That is correct for 2 points.
Love you, Eli.
I stand by that they should have made the first boots do the snake puzzle. It should have been set that you could otherwise pick your order because it would have been more dramatic to have the first boots all doing the snake puzzle. You know,
Yeah, well, it worked for David. He won it. So
True.
maybe there's something to that.
Anyway, that's what you should have. Thanks, Josh. I'm going to get murdered here. I think I can't win now.
You can't win, but
I've lost.
at least let's see if you can make it a close battle. And I'll give you the other Sydney question. I will say this is probably the hardest one of the week. So sorry. So in this first episode, every single person got a confessional. Well done. Who was the last person to get their first confessional?
Oh my God. That is a ridiculous. That is a
That is
ridiculous
hard.
question. All right. I can't believe you went back and watched it to work that out.
I did. Well,
I
because
can't-
last time we did this, my question was who had the first confessional. So
First
I thought,
division
all
was
right.
easy to work out. You had to actually go and like tick them off as a list as they went.
Lucky I love this season, so I had no problem doing it.
This is not an ideal question. I think I'm going to go with Merlene.
Wow, is that a shot in the dark?
I can give you my logic if you want, but that was.
You
my
are
guess.
correct, so I'd like to hear the logic.
Well, I figured that it would be a player that has no consequence to the first episode, whose confessionals, sorry, Merlene, were a bit nothing, who did nothing of note in the episode in particular, who doesn't really need to be
she found
shown
like
to
a
the
million
viewers.
eggs.
She sort of gets screwed over in the vote out, and then like so you don't want to root for her. She doesn't make it way back from Edge, so she's not super important to the edit from the first episode point of view. So with all those things in mind, I figured she was the last to be focused on for the episode.
Well done. Well, you still lost 3-2. So as Danny said,
Well done, yeah.
maybe it's
I wouldn't have got
time.
that.
Maybe it's time to start studying again.
Hey,
After all that bragging about how you're so undefeated, you haven't lost in so long, and look, here you are with a loss.
I prefer to lose without the studying. It's more organic and I'm more beatable. And I don't want people to have to study to come on this show. I think it's more fun if they don't have to study. It should just be fun. And equally, I am fine that I lost to Eli. Congratulations. But I am personally pretty happy with myself with that Merlene answer.
That's
good. Yeah, I would not have got that.
Yeah, well done.
1 in
well
16, I nailed it. But well done, Eli. It's fair. The only people that defeated me in like 6 months are the two of you. So congratulations to both of you.
There you go.
Good club to be part of.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks, Eli. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
Enjoy it.
All right. So back to the Orca pod. And I'm going to bring back the Orcas. Well done, Josh. You know, Josh, historically, I don't think you've been great at getting the phone of friends right. So well done.
Yeah, I don't know. I messed a few up, but you know, I know the episode 1 because that was iconic.
Okay, so now we have two important parts since we finish of our show. I said at the beginning what the Orca is, and all four of us and others are members of the esteemed Congress of the Orcas. At the end of this season, members of the Congress will vote to determine who should join us from this season. There will be a ceremony at the Orca drinks. Should we have them? Should Tyrone make the top 5? Or if I just decide to do it anyway? A medal will be awarded. Are you, Josh, Mark, next time, wear your Orca medals, please, so we can show them off.
When do I get mine?
Next time there's an Orca drinks and you're in attendance. Maybe Melbourne.
Very hard when I live in Papua New Guinea.
When you're back, you might hopefully can make the Melbourne drinks when we do that.
Yeah, hold the drinks in Port Moresby. We'll go off.
Yeah. So
Yes,
yeah,
come to Port Moresby and give me my medal.
getting a medallion, and it's you get to put it on your gravestone, which is the most important thing in the world. We've brought in something now that says the only way to be the Orca for the season, to be nominated for the Congress to vote upon, is to be the Brommy of the week. And Brommy is after the aforementioned Ethan Bromelo, Sydney Survivor, won Orca, and the first ever determined Orca when we came up with the concept of awarding it. So we went in the criteria early. 3 of you have got to give me a nominee for this week, and we can see if we can agree. Loz, who do you nominate for the Brommy for this episode?
It hurts my heart. Ian.
He had the strong arming tactics. He was loud and proud. Narcissism. He even talked about stuff in his pants. He really did have it all.
Can we not talk about it?
Mark, do you have another nominee? Oh, Josh, would you like to nominate someone else?
Oh no, I wasn't putting my hand up there. That was another something. But yeah, I would say Oscar.
Yep. Mark?
I'm gonna have to chuck another vote Ian's way. Like theatrics at tribal council, making multiple people be like, we should vote him out. But then they just went with him anyway. Like
yeah.
he was a fully fledged adult orca whale marooned in this camp.
Yeah, he reminds
I
me of like
agree.
Russell Hantz or like Des
Yeah.
Quilty, like something like that.
I agree. I think we have to give it to Ian for this episode. The strong arming tactics were some of the strongest we've seen and so incredibly effective, despite them being nonsensical in terms of blaming the challenge loss on Nat, and with everyone else, half the tribe wanting to vote him out. Yet,
And then just nonsense at tribal, just pure theatrics.
Yeah,
it is so concerning.
Just
Orca conservationists worldwide are worried for his longevity.
Mm.
I would now.
I don't think we are.
I think some we didn't mention him, but an honorable mention has to go to Mac. Not a lot of Orca gameplay, but he was really delivering in the confessionals, very sassy confessionals, which we love. That's sort of the loud and proud part. Yeah, that's where the loud and proud part is. He was certainly being very loud and proud in his confessionals about himself and just, shitting on the rest of his tribe, which is always enjoyable. Okay.
It doesn't count though if you don't do it in front of people.
No, but the loud and proud bit.
In a confessional.
Yeah. Confessional's a factor. Like, we loved Hannah's confessionals, right?
Of course.
Strong confessionals are an Orca factor. They're not the predominant Orca factor. And I do believe that the narcissism and the strong arming tactics by Ian certainly prevails over Mac's strong confessional game this episode. It's just got to go that way. Now, final part of the episode, what is going to happen next week? What do you think, Marc? You can pick a tribe and then tell me.
All right. I'm going to go introvert tribe. And I think it's going to be a toss-up between Chris and Tyrone for first boot.
Josh, what do you think is going to happen in the extrovert tribe?
On the extrovert tribe? I think that Chaotic Alliance might have some traction. Maddie will kind of play the middle. And then I feel like it might be one of the other girls to go. Is it Rissa or Belle, maybe? Hopefully not, but I don't know. I could see that maybe happening. And Mac might be like scared and he might have to kind of cower down a little bit to Ian, who's kind of the big daddy in charge, maybe.
Kiss the ring, maybe. Loz, do you have any differing opinions on either of those?
No, not really. I think introverts are they're playing the long game right now. Extroverts are not. And I think there's going to be substantial challenges for the extroverts if they don't start to work a little bit better together, which extroverts don't do very well because extroverts are all about themselves individually. So I see the introverts maybe running the game until tribe swap.
All right. Thank you, everyone who joined us on the Orca Pod this evening. Thank you, Loz. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Marc. Thank you, Jules, for coming on and hosting TWIOLSH, and Eli for being a great competitor, defeated me. What the fuck? Maybe I should study. Thank you to Danny, who was here backstage helping me with some tech. And thank you to everyone that's in the chat. We love you the most. We also love you if you listen after the fact, whether it be on YouTube or a podcast. That's cool. We still love you, just not as much as those that are here live to comment. We love seeing your comments, particularly if you're in the cast. Get here if you're on the cast. We're going to be doing this every Monday evening. The show comes out Wednesday, so just in 2 days' time. Look forward to that. And until then, we shall dance.